I know that I want to live in the middle of fucking nowhere in the forest and like I don't know, just having like my little house that I made for myself, having my garden, living off grid, living in harmony with nature. I think you have like kind of the image in mind. It's really the vision of the kind of houses you find on YouTube, like people who go like interview fucking hippies in the mountains who live like totally off grid with their garden and stuff like that. That's exactly what I want. Exactly what I want. So now that you have the vision of exactly what I want, like I know that I want that in the long term goal. Like before that, I want to travel and I want to see the world and I want to finish my studies. But that's the long term goal. So since I knew that I want to do that, I was like, girl, just try to go to somewhere where people live like that because maybe like in practice you will not like it, so you have to try this way of living before like fantasizing it too much into your head and putting all the work to live like that because my parents doesn't live like that. Actually, I'm at my parents place and it's pretty like a normal house. House, yeah, you pronounce it like that, house, a pretty normal house. So I never lived like that. And among my friends, like my friends call me the little princess because sometimes I can want like okay, I will give you the story time. Like with some friends, during holidays, we were planning on um, going to the south of France, going in a camping for like 1 week, for spending like 1 week together. And they wanted to go to the camping and having some tents, like tents for a week. And I was like, no, I will not sleep in those fucking tents. I want a bungalow. But actually, the reason for that is that I already like slept several times in tents, so I know that it's not comfortable after like 3 days. So that was the reason. So my friends call me Little Princess. So I have in my mind the idea of maybe living off grid and very close to nature can fit me, but it can also like not fit me because I'm pretty like I can like my comforts sometimes. So I wanted to try those way of living. And something also that I was interested into is that when I imagine my future, I imagine myself, as I told you, in the middle of nowhere, la la la. But I imagine myself alone. I I imagine myself alone, which is like I know that is not sustainable at all because as human beings, like we need some social interaction. I know it. So after that, after realizing that, I was seeing myself with kids, like with my children. And then I was like, okay, no, actually, I think I need like more social bounds. Like your kids are not the only person in your life. And then I was like, oh, maybe living in a community can be something that can be interesting. I'm not even talking about my partner because it's another it's another subject. But yeah, I was like, maybe living in a community in the middle of nowhere can be like interesting because I don't want to live with people all the time, but having my little space and then like sharing with people as much as possible outside of it, I'm totally okay with that. So I was like, okay, let's try this way of living. And also I wanted to have like different experiences. I wanted to travel. I wanted to like to be outside of my family house during the holidays basically. um, because I know that I really like my parents, but after like some weeks of being like too close together, we become crazy, both them and me. So I was like, okay, I need to travel during like my holidays. So I was like, okay, let's find a eco community. Okay, I'm freezing. I was like, okay, so let's just find an eco community in which I can do some volunteering. because I already knew like Woodpacker. So I was like, okay, let's do something on Woodpacker, because I saw that they had like many eco communities, and I was like very by called by Italy for no specific reason. And it was like really perfect for me because Italy is very close to France, and I don't want to take the plane. And I saw like a lot of different eco communities on in Italy, so I was like, okay, let's go. So I just like searched some eco communities, and I found like three that I was very interested into. Um, so I just applied to all those eco communities and started my trip. And on my trip, I was doing like Torino and Geneva before going to Genova. Sorry, before I always like confuse Geneva and Genova. And during my trip, I almost get lost because I was always like switching those two names. Um, but yeah, I was in Torino and Genova before going to the first eco community. Genova is so incredible. Like, if you have the opportunity of going there, so incredible. But yes, I ended up in the first eco community I selected. And when I arrived, I was like, oh my god, I think I will not stay only 1 week, because I was supposed to stay only 1 week and then like doing the other two eco communities. And I was like, oof, yeah, no, 1 week will not be enough. I know that I will stay more. But yeah, actually, I took like trains and trains and trains to arrive at this place. This place was very like remote in the fucking like Italian mountains, like so far away and in the middle of nowhere. I was like, what am I doing? Like, actually, before arriving at the eco community, I was really thinking that people there will be very hippie vibe, and I was too scared. I was scared of them being like too spiritual, too high, too close to nature compared to me, because I really like this side of being very close to nature and stuff like that. But I also have a side that is like very realistic, um, very into actions and stuff like that. So if they add only this spiritual nature EP vibe, I will not like it. So I was really thinking that they will be like that. And actually, when I arrived, I've been like so amazingly surprised by the fact that people were like me. Like, people, of course, that everybody is a little bit different, but on the spectrum from normal society, like normal people, to fucking APs, like people were between those two, which is like exactly the type of personality I like, because it means that we can at the same time like be very practical, very into actions, um, also laughing a lot, but also be like very spiritual, very like I very very into sustainability and stuff like that. So people there were very like me on that, and I was like, oh my god, that's perfect, because it's not like too high for me. It's very like middle ground of the spectrum, and that was perfect. And it was also the case not only for personality of people, but also for the place. Like, the place is not too extreme in the way that it's not like totally off grid, it's not totally I don't know how to say that, it's not cut from technologies. For example, we use a lot our phone, WhatsApp and stuff like that. We have internet. Like, it's very the middle ground between like an off-grid, total off-grid, natural community and society. It's like the good mix between those two. And yeah, the place is called Onidiu. Onidiu, it's near Rimini in Italy. I'm saying that because maybe you want to search that on Worldpacker. But yeah, like, that was fucking perfect for me. Exactly the good mix between being realistic and being very idealistic. Um, so yeah, I just I just go on every single thing I think about, and I don't even do it chronologically. But yeah, like I just arrived, and the guy just one of the guy who is like driving to take volunteers from the bus stop to the place arrived, took me, and I arrived at the moment of the sunset, and it was like so magical because we were just like going up a fucking mountain in truck, and I was seeing like the sunset and the beautiful lights, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? I arrived at the place. I entered into the main hall where we eat and stuff like that, and people were finishing their dinner, and I just started to talk with people and just arrived and said, oh, can I sit here? Can I eat with you? And took the food, started to eat with people. And I started to talk with two girls who were like approximately my age because I'm 20. And at the moment I arrived, people in the community were more around like 30-ish, something like that. So I was part of the youngest. But when I arrived, the two first people I talked with, I think they were like 19 and 20 or around my age. Um, so yeah, that was like very cool to arrive like that. And yeah, the first impression was really like overwhelming, I will say, because I was not understanding what was going on. I just arrived, a lot of people were there. I arrived just after like dinner, so it was like the moment that is like pretty tricky. But yeah, they just like gave me a room, and the room was very great, like so great. Um, but I will say that my first real impressions of the place were on the days after that, because it's really when I started to have like my really first opinions about the place and stuff like that. Um, what to say about it? I think I really, really liked it. At first, I felt like something, an heaviness in the place, in the building, and it's something that other people felt. And I still don't know what it was, but I really felt kind of an heaviness in the building. But then when I was sharing with people, with the community, it was like just hyping me so much and putting me in so high energies that it was not something that I noticed that much. Um, but yeah, the concept of this place is that this community is very young. It's like only 2 years old. So it's actually like receiving a lot of volunteers, and not a lot of people are currently staying there. So we were around like 30 people when I was there. And I think it's a very great number. Maybe a little bit too much, but when you stay like for a short amount of time, like that's perfect because you see a lot of people and you can talk with a lot of people, and this was incredible. Mm, what I can say about it is also that um, it's a place where you find like all fucking nationalities and all fucking ages. Like we had the babies like less than 1 year, to old people, like basically grandmas. And being with babies during like a long period of time taught me that actually I like them, which is like very weird for me because I always said that I never wanted kids, and then I fell in love and I was like, okay, no, maybe I want some kids, and now I'm single again, but I still feel that I'm called to be a mother at some point. So being with kids for a long, all day basically was a good experience because it was really different. Because when I don't have babies around close to me most of the time, because when I see babies, it's only when you go, you know, to like a far away family, like cousin and stuff like that. So maybe you see some babies at some point and you babysit for some time, but it's just like few hours. It's not like living with them all day. So it was like very interesting, because at some point I wanted to be with them. Like at some point I started to play with them. I started to take them on myself. I started to, yeah, wanting to play with them and wanting to be with them, which is like very very weird. Like if you knew me, you will be like, what the fuck? Like you hate babies, you hate kids, and now you're doing that. So yeah, it was like very very surprising coming from me. So being with babies was very interesting. And being with older people all day long was also interesting, because they have like so much life experience. I was with a girl, she was a yoga teacher, like basically a little grandma, and she was a yoga teacher who just like decided to change her life like 2 years ago, and decided to finally like live the way she wanted to live. So she get divorced. She started to do like yoga classes and stuff like that, and I was really amazed to see the strength of those like older people, because most of them were people who didn't live this way all their life long. They just like decided to do a shift in their life, and it was like very inspiring and also like very comforting for me, because I was like, okay, you did I did the switch like at a very young age, to the point that I never really had to make the switch. Like I know that I want to live like that, so it's actually like saving me so many years and decades, because if I just like decide not to listen to the part of myself who wants to live like that, I will just like end up in 40 years realizing that, yeah, actually it's really like that I want to live, and making a shift in my life when I will be like 50, 60 or 70. So for me it was like a very, giving me so much hope, and giving me like so much like proud to myself for having realized that I want to live like that since a young age, because I will not waste decades and decades of my time living a way that I don't want to live. So I was like very very happy with that. And it also like reinforced this idea of not living a life that I don't want to live that way, and not having a lifestyle that I don't want to have, because I will just like, it will just like become worse and worse, and I will want to change at some point. So there's no point of pretending and having a lifestyle I don't want to have for decades, if at the end I know that I don't want to live like that. So I have to take the risk like from now, because I don't want to waste my time. I have one fucking life, and that's what like being with those old people taught me, is that I'm lucky to be fucking 20. We are lucky to be young. So let's just make the decisions to not waste our life. That's basically what I was understanding from it. Also, we were like with very like different nationalities. I was with people from Iran, from Israel, from Brazil, from what were the other nationalities, from Sri Lanka, from Australia, I think. No, I'm not sure. Like all the different America, South Africa, like very different nationalities, and it's so interesting. So interesting, because like being with people from different nationalities like teach like so many things. it's really is incredible because when you think of it, like in my normal day-to-day life, when I go to university, when I stay with like the people I normally stay, I will never get the chance to talk with people from fucking Sri Lanka. I will never get the chance to talk with people from Mexico, like from Argentina. Most of the time, I will never get the chance. So, being like this place is so special because it creates the opportunity of actually like connecting with people from so many different countries that it's just like broadening, I don't know, increasing like your way of seeing life. And I think you can understand what I mean. It's like it's broadening the opportunities in life by seeing like how other people in other countries are living, and also when they talk about their culture, when I talk about like how they live in those countries, it just shows me that basically you can live everywhere. And I know, we know consciously that we can live everywhere, but actually like meeting people from those places and having like very interesting conversation and realizing that actually it's not that hard to live there. I don't know if you see what I mean or not. Is that consciously we already know that we can live there, but I think like from because coming from like a European country, I had this subconscious idea that living in other like countries such as like South America countries or Asia or Africa countries like will can be uncomfortable in the way that I was thinking that of course in cities and stuff like that it can be like the same way of living in a very comfortable occidental way, eastern western way. um and actually speaking with people who come from like more rural places, more like different places, and still seeing like that's a possible way of living, it just like creates new connections into my brain. It just like broaden my horizons basically, and being like my playground is not France, my playground is not Europe, my playground is the world. And realizing that is so freeing because you just like open so many doors, open so many like new rooms in into my mind that now I'm like before yes I wanted to live in remotely like off grid and stuff like that. I was considering only France. Then at some point I was considering Europe, and now I'm considering the world. And now it seems like not that hard at all. It just make the fact of going to other countries and stuff like that very reachable and not easy but easier than what I was thinking. Also because like those people, most of the time, it's not most of the time, like all those people are travelers, because if they are like in Italy and coming from like those different countries, of course that they are travelers. um they are travelers, and it's something like so specific. Like you will probably see what I mean, but when people travel, like real traveling, I'm not saying like just going like one time in some holidays in another country in a fucking like five-star hostel, five-star hotel, and coming back and saying that you have been to this country. No, I'm saying like backpacking, volunteering, real travelers who went to very like rural places, local places, different countries for really traveling and meeting and knowing other cultures. Those type of travelers are so interesting and so incredible people. Like it's really showing a lot of their personality. And yeah, meeting like those kind of people like so much more, it just like makes so much sense, because those people who will decide to travel this way of going in very local places, they have to be open-minded. They have to be like very open-minded, very adventurous, very ambitious, because like deciding to do it is very like deciding to do something that not a lot of people are doing, and actually doing it, you have to be very ambitious. And after that, like traveling in those places, it makes you like very independent, very like strong personalities in a good way, even more open-minded, very spiritual most of the time. People who are also like very confident in the way, in the fact that they can do everything. And it's exactly the kind of personalities that I match so much with, because I think I have a lot of those characteristics in my own personality, and they are like characteristics I want to dive into. So being with those kind of people is incredible, incredible, because they are amazing people, and most of the time like so light heart, like light soul, very beautiful hearts, and they have like so many incredible stories to tell you. I was talking with a Colombian, and he was explaining to me like, oh, he was in different islands in Indonesia, and then I was talking with another one, and he was explaining, oh, he went like 1 month on the boat from Indonesia to another place. Like those stories, you know that it already exists, but the fact that you meet people who already did it, once again, it just like broadened my horizons so much, because I knew that I wanted to do it consciously. I knew that I wanted to do it, but meeting people and actually connecting with those people and seeing each other face to face, it makes something different. It makes some in the brain that it just like releases different chemistry. I don't know how to say that. It just like creates new neuronal patterns, of just like, ooh, actually like face to face, like they are incredible people, they are beautiful, they are alive, they are healthy, they are like, yeah, very accomplished with that. I want to do it even more. That's what it creates, because like also when you see it on internet, you can like see a lot of videos. It will like also broaden your horizon at some point, but never as much as meeting people, because you can basically touch them, you can like basically talk to them, you can like, it's so weird when I say it, but it's really the what I felt of being like really connecting in real life, and being like, okay, and saying to yourself, okay, it's safe, it's okay, you can survive doing that. Not in a way that is like, I was thinking that I'm gonna die doing it, but it's the same idea as if you want to do a certain kind of job and you finally meet somebody who's doing this job in real life, in person, it will totally change something in your brain, because you're like, oh my god, I can touch the person, I can talk to the person. It's basically like, it's basically possible to do it, because like this person is alive in front of me. It's totally incredible. So yeah, what else I wanted to say? Like so many things. I wanted to say so many things. Oh my god. Something else I wanted to say is that you realize that this way of living is basically like so logic. So logic. And it was something that I was saying all the time. It's so logic to live this way. But I think I will cut the video now. I did the part on like meeting people. I think next time I will talk about like all logic it is to live this way, the sustainable way, and all the stuff. I have like so many things to tell you. So see you in next video. Mwah!